Hey, I got a Treehouse Wet Hop beer. This is Fresh Hop Citra Coleman Farms. So it's a 4.8% pale ale that uses Citra from Coleman Farms in St. Paul, Oregon. And I believe they sent out a semi truck and brought this back. So hopefully there are lots of other beers lined up, a lot of other wet hop beers. They do a lot of these wet hop pilsners. A lot of them are their trail pilsner with different wet hops. And this is the first year they've done this pale ale. It was canned 2 days ago, and it's not like I've already had some, and it's not a super hazy traditional treehouse beer. I don't know if they use their same yeast or what exactly the situation is, but I know that since wet hops are very wet, there's a lot of moisture in them. A lot of breweries have not really used them in their hazy IPAs because you have to figure out how to brew with these hops that are full of moisture, and that might mess up your recipes and stuff. So I don't really know. I wish they would kind of talk about how they plan, how breweries use wet hops. But let's just get into it. So you can see it's not super hazy. You can sort of see my finger through there. I mean, it is hazy, but not for Treehouse. Head looks pretty good. It's not ultra pale. It's definitely paler than like Sierra Nevada. And the head actually is really nice, really white. Bubbles aren't popping too fast. And it does not smell like Julius. It does not smell like a Citra forward hazy IPA. And I'm sure this is only Citra hops. And they say fresh hop Citra, but for some reason they literally say here fresh hop Citra Coleman Farms is wet hopped with bucket loads of fresh Citra. It's like, it's so confusing. Because some breweries, when they use the term fresh hop, they don't necessarily mean the hops that are undried and used quickly. They mean just the freshest dried hops. But this one, they are wet hops, I believe. Even though they flush them with nitrogen in their refrigerated hop trailer. So that's good enough for me, even if it took them, more than a few days to drive their trailer all the way to Massachusetts from Oregon. And it has that special wet hop smell. Perfumey, rosy, chlorophyll-y. And it has some of that special citrus note, but without having I think all the haze and influence from their yeast. It's a little bit of a different experience. Unlike Julius, it seems more like a traditional American pale ale or something. It's not. I mean, there's only a teeny bit of a malt character. But if you didn't know this is wet hop, you might think it's that Cascade or something, because it's kind of grassy. Well, there are definitely some more tropical like elements in it. But the wet hop character, I think, is what's most noticeable. It's definitely melony. They say lychee, bright citrus stone fruit. I guess I should eat some actual lychee because I don't know what that is like. I get more like sweet, floral honey, or more like orange blossom honey, orangey, and sweet melon, ripe honeydew. Especially in the flavors, super honeydew, super floral, chamomile tea. A little grassy, chlorophyll-y, but not in an off-putting way. Not dirty, not leafy. Rather clean. And maybe there are some yeast esters that are kind of carrying through the hop fruitiness. I'm not sure though, but it's just like cantaloupe and honeydew, just lots, big on the melon. That's the biggest thing for me. Maybe lychee is a little bit like melon. A little bit of body. I mean, for 4.8%, it's got a good amount of body, and for the lack of haze. A little bit sweet, but all that fresh hoppiness and greenness and this little bit of spiciness is kind of keeping it from seeming too sweet. extremely drinkable, but very much just like a magical hop tea with a little bit of, golden sweet malt syrup in there. But it's amazing now that I've had quite a few wet hop beers in my lifetime and gotten them, a lot of them pretty fresh, especially because like New England is not the greatest place to grow hops. Not a lot of hop farms around here. And I've had a lot of wet hop beers, and I've noticed that it's really this perfumey, especially rosy type thing, that they all really have in common. And this one is just that, probably because it's super fresh. And what's interesting is there's no like, it's not very sticky and dank and stuff like that. Maybe because when you use it wet, you can't use, like if you use the same quantity, it doesn't have nearly as much of the oils and the potent part of the hop in there. It has all of these more volatile things and moisture that you lose in the drying process. So you can just get the most potent part in the bracteoles, the oils, the funky, skunky, dank stuff is probably in that, definitely is in a higher concentration in like a regular IPA. But with the wet hop ones, there's probably not as much of that. The flavor crystals and all that. This has like everything. This has the plant matter and everything in there too. Maybe as it warms up, and maybe there's a little bit of a sticky, icky, dank thing. As it warms up and you can get your nose in there. But it's not like. Actually, I'm getting more of that now as I drink it more. It's just very complex, and it's also just just one hop, but it has all of these volatile things and moisture that you just don't get. So it makes it. Yeah, it's just saying bright citrus, lychee, and stone fruit. I guess they wanted to talk more about all the stuff they did to make this beer, but it's so different. Like there are millions of IPAs that say bright citrus, lychee, stone fruit. This has a lot more stuff going on, and now I'm getting some more bitterness, like maybe a little more than classic treehouse bitterness. Part because I'm drinking it pretty fast because it's super drinkable. Yeah, that's a nice beer. I don't know if I did this yet. And I've got it in my like almost 12-year-old Mystic glass, which Mystic doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, really nice head. Even though this is the first time they brewed this beer and probably the first time they've done a recipe like this, they kind of nailed it. But the dream of mine maybe wouldn't work, and what all people wish they would do is make a wet hop Julius, like make a sort of normal Julius batch and use maybe like the same hot side hops for bittering, and then add like throw a bunch of this Citra in to the dry hop. I mean, maybe it won't work, maybe it will do nothing, maybe it will be a waste, but at least try it, especially since they have a tractor trailer full of wet hops right now. So we'll see what they do soon. But maybe this is the best way to present it. You should just present the wet hops in their purest form without other things in the way, because it is very special and I appreciate it. And this review is getting too long and I'm getting repetitive. But I really like this beer, even if it's not the normal thing I would chase after, like a brewery making this. But it's really well done. I can't think of, there are no off flavors, and it's really special. Got a lot of character at 4.8%, and $16 a 4-pack. I guess wasn't that bad. The same price as Julius, but there is literally no other beer. I mean, maybe there are some in the Pacific Northwest. There are some brewers making Coleman Farms Citra wet hop beers, but they're probably making them maltier and more bitter and with less soft water and whatever. So for a rating, 4.3 or something. I give it the same ratings, I feel like, all the time. But mostly just drink good beer on this channel. So that's it. Bye-bye.